Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed on the Friday in an angry United Nations address to block a Palestinian state, accusing the European leaders of pushing his country into a national suicide and also rewarding the Hamas. Benjamin Netanyahu, who said his speech was being partially broadcast on the Israeli military loudspeakers in the Gaza, vowed to finish the job against the Hamas, even as the President Donald Trump said that he thought he had sealed a deal on the ceasefire. Days after the Britain, France and other Western powers recognized a state of Palestine, the Netanyahu said that they had sent a very clear message that murdering the Jews pays off. Also, Israel will not allow you to shove a terrorist state down our throats, the Netanyahu said. We will not commit national suicide because you don't have the guts to face down the hostile media and anti-Semitic mobs demanding Israel's blood, he said. Hamas carried out the worst ever attack on the Israel on the October 7, 2023, triggering a relentless Israeli offensive in the Gaza. The Palestinian Authority president, that is Mahmoud Abbas, a rival of the Hamas, also condemned the attack as well as anti-Semitism in his own address on the Thursday, which he delivered virtually after the United States refused him a visa. Also, Benjamin Netanyahu, who has opposed a Palestine state for decades, mocked the Western support of the Abbas and also called that the Palestinian Authority as corrupt to the core. But the Palestinian Foreign Ministry official, that is Adel Atiyah, also called Netanyahu's address the speech of a defeated man. Benjamin Netanyahu notably did not touch on the issue of annexing the West Bank, which some members of his cabinet have threatened as a way to kill any prospect of a real Palestinian state. Donald Trump, normally a staunch ally of the Benjamin Netanyahu, also has warned against the annexation as he pitches a peace plan on the Gaza that would include the disarmament of the Hamas. Benjamin Netanyahu also went out of his way to praise Donald Trump, whom he will meet on the Monday in Washington. Donald Trump said Friday, just after the Netanyahu spoke, "I think we have a deal." Former British Prime Minister Tony Blair was floated in some media reports as a possible leader of a transitional authority for the Gaza under the United States proposal. Protest and circuitous route. With Netanyahu facing an international criminal court arrest warrant over the war crime allegations, including using starvation as a weapon, the Israeli Prime Minister took an unusual route to New York that also included flying over the narrow Strait of Gibraltar. As he walked up to the General Assembly rostrum, many delegations walked out. Protesters marched nearby in the Times Square calling for his arrest. War criminals don't deserve any peace of mind. They don't deserve any sleep, said Andrea Merez, a young woman who kept up an overnight noisy protest outside the Netanyahu's hotel. Benjamin Netanyahu, in his address, aggressively challenged allegation that Israel was committing genocide in the Gaza, noting that the Gazans were repeatedly urged to flee. However, the humanitarian law also considers forced displacement to be a war crime. Nearly the entire population of the Gaza Strip have been displaced during the war. The October 7, 2023 attack by the Hamas killed 1,219 people, also mostly civilians, according to an AFP tally from the Israeli official figures, in the deadliest day in the country's history. Israel's offensive have killed more than 65,000 Palestinians, mostly civilians, according to the health ministry figures in the Hamas-run territory that the United Nations considers reliable. 20 people across the Gaza were killed on the Friday ahead of the Netanyahu speech alone, the Gaza Civil Defense Agency reported. The medical charity Doctors Without Borders said the Friday it had been forced to suspend its work in the Gaza city because of the ongoing Israeli offensive. Not forgotten you. Netanyahu said that in his speech. It was to be broadcasted in the Israeli in part of the loudspeaker in hopes of reaching both the Hamas leaders and the hostages still held since the October 7, 2023 attack. We have not forgotten you. Also, not even for a second, Netanyahu said in Hebrew.